frontier. This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
With the top end of Stevenson, Greenland!
Welcome to Football Daft. It is the daftest Scottish football podcast around. I am producer John, and let's introduce the team. First of all, let's welcome back the man, the myth, the legend, Shagger himself, Mr. Christopher Toll.
Press that button.
What one?
The applause. Applause.
Yes, he's back.
back motherfuckers. First of all, just like to say thanks very much to everybody that get in touch with me regarding the passing of my dad. It means a lot. It was really nice to see all the messages, and thanks very much. If I never get back to you, then probably might be an arsehole or something like that, but thanks anyway. Thanks all the same. And unfortunately, we've had another loss in the Scottish football world today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would raise a glass with me for Steven Gerrard.
He's sitting over there.
A 10-bell salute, John.
10-bell salute. Are you doing a 2-minute silence for this, Stephen? Is that what you're doing over there?
Are you doing a 2-minute silence, Stephen?
It's ironic that it's Remembrance Day today.
I know.
Right, do you know something? It's very, very, very good to have you back, Christopher. Right, I've missed you. I'm just pissed off it's the day of it.
Listen, before we get into Steven Gerrard, because
Yes.
it's quite raw to Stephen, we've got to say a big congratulations. He's not here this week for very good reasons. Grado has had a win.
Press the button. Yes! Big Daddy. Huh?
See what you've done there.
Literally
I see
Big
what
Daddy
you've done
himself.
there. Perry, Maureen, Stevely.
Yes.
And you know what? I wish we could get
That's
a
nice
picture up.
because the middle name is Stephanie's man's name and Grado's man's name.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
That's lovely.
It's nice.
And obviously, like you said, John Perry, after his favourite wrestler.
Aye, Perry Saturn.
Perry Saturn.
Apparently he was in the hospital and they're like, oh, you must be Big Little Mix fans. That was it. We need to get, once Grado's back on, you need to hear the story
No,
of,
do you know what it is?
of him in the waiting room.
He's not even a Big Little Mix fan, he just loves Harry Enfield.
Can I just say to you, he was waiting for, like, the labour was quite long and, you know, I don't know if he's told you this, Step Boys. Have you had a conversation with him
He
yet?
touched on it a wee bit, but he was a bit stressed out. And then we were talking this morning about Steven Gerrard, and he went, it was usually, Bob, this happened, this. I was like, wait till I see you and I'll tell you it'll be funny. So I says, just save it.
Aye, save it. I will give you a little nugget, however, when he's waiting about, as you do, for when your wife's through in labour and all that. Because of COVID, he's in a room on his own. Like he was told, he checked out the daddy websites, take snacks with you, take an iPad with you, entertain, you'll be sitting there for a while. He fucking forgot all that, right? So he was sitting in this room on his own, right? So he was getting so bored that the nurse came in and he says, quick, you can do a Q&A with me. So he had this was, ask me any question, right, to the nurse. And the nurse was obviously flummoxed. I don't know if she was a Grado fan or a wrestling fan, or she goes, what panel are you in this year?
And I bet you even forgot what one we were doing.
Aye, probably. But
Such a big mark for his selling name.
absolutely. Congratulations to Grado and
congrats.
Stephanie, little baby girl. And you know when you say babies look like babies, and they've go, it looks just like you.
No.
This way.
She's a Grado action figure.
This way is a Grado action figure.
It's like uncanny. It's
Absolutely
uncanny.
He's
Aye,
got the Grado
no
nostrils.
chance of doing a runner anyway, can he fucking...
Can't deny that old
Can't
classic.
deny-
You can't deny your son, that's sure. Can't deny her.
You know, that's like you spat her out.
That's no repostments.
Definitely not. Grado will be able to give you the full story when he's back on the podcast, hopefully in next week or possibly the week after that, depending on his paternity. Right then, let's get to it.
Doing it.
It's the 11th of November, Remembrance Day, and we're remembering.
This is like you couldn't write this shite.
Chris Toll is back on the podcast. Steven Gerrard has left Rangers. He's way to Aston Villa after with a 3.5-year deal at Aston Villa after three-year reigns. At Rangers, he's taking the backroom staff with him as well.
That's a big thing for me.
Michael Beale's a massive loss.
Yep. Aston Villa is a club with a rich history and tradition in English football, and I'm immensely proud to become its new head coach, said Gerrard. He's also, I don't know, Stephen, if you've just seen the statement that he's put on his own Instagram as well.
Birthday card push.
Birthday, is that what you're coming up with?
No.
Well, I want to read it out to you. Chris, have you heard this yet?
No, mate, I get woke up with producer Ryan texting me saying, I know you're probably asleep, but quick, it's a great day.
Steven Gerrard on his Instagram said, I want to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone associated with Glasgow Rangers, especially the fans, for the love and support you've shown me during my time in Scotland. Winning 55 will always hold a special place in my heart. Each and every one of you played a part in that, and I believe me, there will be many more to come. I hope in my time you can understand and accept my decision to move on, but I honestly fell in love with the club. I should get some sad music playing here. And will always follow the team. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. #55.
He could have ended that. See, when you said hashtag, I was expecting something a lot worse.
Stephen Purden, how are you feeling at this
Could you
moment? It's
imagine
quite raw
that
at the
stuff?
moment. Quite raw.
Yes, it's very raw, John. It's, do you know what? There's been a few unpleasant comments on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not one of the guys that are going to sit, call him a rat, he's fucking betrayed us, all that. I'm not going to, but I'm a wee bit surprised, to say the least. I thought, I'm sure you're going to rub my nose in it soon with a certain comment from a certain show we done Monday night, Rangers Daft, right? I didn't see this coming, right? I didn't see it coming. I thought Gerrard was better than this. I thought, right, there's two ways to this. Not a lot of old firm managers are going to get 3 years and only win one trophy, right? But he took over in extraordinary circumstances, right? He had a big job in his hands, right? So that's why he's been there that long. He won his league last year. We've stuck by him, right? He's been backed. I think this season of all seasons, with what's at stake at the end of this current campaign, it's of paramount importance that we win the league this year and get straight into that Champions League. We've got a semi-final on the horizon. We've got the chance to go into the latter stages of the Europa again. So I think for those reasons that I've just said, I think he could have at the very least, gave us to the end of this season. I'm very surprised at his sudden departure, and I thought he was better than that, to be honest.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a big, it's a big job. The Villa job is. They're a big team. I mean, they're not bigger than Rangers.
I don't think they're bigger than Rangers. I think at the end of the day, we live in a world now where money talks, right? Yeah. Money talks, right? And I said that at all on the way over. I was reading something on my mate's centres or something, I can't remember what it was, but they are now like the fifth richest club in England.
Is that right? Yeah.
Obviously they spent 35 million on that boy at the start of the season. They've obviously got ambitious plans.
He was big pals with the chief exec as well, wasn't he?
Aye, but as I say, I think obviously I'm saying money talks. Let's not beat about the bush here. Gerrard's probably a multi-millionaire. I don't think he needs the money, right? I think the signs have been there. There's been a frustration between him and the board. I think there's been a frustration, but I'm kind of in the board's camp here because he has been backed. And under the current climate of a pandemic and the rest there, and fans not coming in, I think the board were well within their rights to go, look, enough's enough for now. We get into the Champions League this season, there'll be money there for you now, but see if we don't, you need to make sure you win next season to get in it, because he has been backed, right? He has been backed.
He didn't really get back. I think there's a frustration from what you hear from inside the club. There's a frustration he didn't get really backed in the summer.
He didn't get.
What you need to take into account is the players that Rangers managed to keep.
And that's that's my point. I'm saying he has been backed. That's probably the first window he's not had funds to spend, i.e. 7 million on your Ryan Kent, right? But
and you've held on to more importantly, you've held on to
over the piece of his tenure at our club, I would say he has been backed handsomely. And I think for one window where there has again been extraordinary circumstances where we've had a pandemic, and we all know what happens if we don't live within our means as Rangers fans. We know that all too well. So I think the board within their rights to go look and see, to be honest, see if he's going to be moaning about the funds weren't there. Mate, all you had today when you went 1-0 in at half time against a 10-man Malmo was beat them.
Aye.
That's my point.
That's a good point, but in my view, I think this is the wrong job for Gerrard to take. I think he's on a hiding to nothing. The Aston Villa manager's position, can you tell me one that's went on to bigger things, right? And I think it's a mistake for Gerrard. I think he's on a hiding to nothing with us.
I think, mate, I mean, you only need to look at Dean Smith, who went above and beyond with him last season, and then he's had a wee bit of muddy waters for the last maybe month or two, and he's out the door. I think down there, the money, in my opinion, the money down in English football has kind of ruined English football a wee bit, and it's a cutthroat business, man. It's a cutthroat business. See, come February, March, if he's still lingering above the relegation zone, he's in trouble.
I agree with you, and also to sever a manager's pay packet, these teams, you're saying there, they can go out and spend 35 million on a player. So see, for them to go like that, right, well, it's going to cost us 10 million to get rid of him.
It's a drop in the ocean.
Just get rid of him.
It's a drop in the ocean.
Do you know what I
do
mean?
you know what, I can see it. Right, he's going down there, he wants to test himself against your Peps, your Klopps, your Tuchels. I can see him going, right, this is my ticket to then take me off the Klopp, right? But don't get me wrong, right, I think initially they'll start off well, but see, well, I'm not one of these guys that sit and saying, he's away. I mean, I'm truly gutted, right? Because I really like Gerrard. I did, man. I still do. I like him the way he comes across, right? But we have there's almost an arrogance and a stubbornness to change what he believes in. There was a whole thing with Mark Warburton who said where his plan B was to do plan A better, and I think there's a case for an argument there. Well, that was kind of Gerrard's way of going.
Like somebody I know.
Well, what's that?
It sounds like somebody I know.
But I think Gerrard kind of has got that way about him now, where you go and it's clear and apparent he's got his favourites at the club, right? Who, again, the stubbornness comes where they don't get moved out of the team or don't get a wee rest on the bench, where you go, right? So I look at it and go, maybe change is good for us, but it's just what we've got there. If it's going to be appealing to somebody like who I kind of want Van Bronckhorst, he's my number one option now, but whether Gio comes there, has a sit down with the board and goes, thanks, but no thanks, it's not for me. It's taking over us now. It's not going to be easy because November, December is massive for our club.
If the manager that comes in doesn't go off to a flyer, then
aye.
Well,
the first game's a fucking semi-final. It's a hard one.
I mean, Chris, you've been through this before. Have you got any consolation? I mean, obviously, you've been through this.
It all went great for us after Brendan Rodgers left, man.
Have you got any? Because it does feel like you're splitting up with that girlfriend. That really hot girlfriend.
Chris, how long did it take you over it, man?
It does.
Still not quite there, to be fucking frankly. But
see when you've a night out with your missus and you have a pure big argument and all that, and you wake up in the morning and you go, oh no, it really did happen. That's how I felt this morning.
Do you know what? I think in the long run, like I said, I think it's the wrong move for him. I think he's jumped the gun. What I would say is, see if he had have been in the running for Newcastle and he had taken that, I think the Newcastle fans have seen the night that the club's in, they would want him to get more than one transfer window in. So even if they did get relegated, they would have the next season to bring them back.
And it's not a good transfer window, January.
Nobody does good business in January. Nobody ever does good business in January, apart from Robbie Keane that time. That was it, wasn't it?
He couldn't have stood up to a Thompson tackle. But...
No, in fact, he was the someone. In fact, he was last year. Fuck it anyway. It's I think going forward, he'll regret the decision to leave Rangers.
Yeah, it is like splitting up with a girlfriend. I mean, you've let go of a hot girlfriend, but you know the thing is, to get your own back on the hot, the girlfriend that's just split up with you, you want to go out and get a hotter girlfriend.
You want to get a hotter one, but sometimes you end up with Neil Lennon.
So Giovanni Brian Van Bronckhorst, is he hotter than Steven Gerrard?
Fucking right.
Yeah.
Fucking right, yeah.
Oh, so Van Bronckhorst, and I was touching on you.
Touching on me?
And I was touching on with you earlier on.
That sounds worse. But you're touching on with me. Just for the record, me and Toll drove over in the car together. Just us two. That was
having a conversation. Right, so I says to Stephen, I was like, you never know, like, Van Bronckhorst still needs to meet the board. The board have got to set out this vision of how they see Rangers going forward, and I don't know the ins and outs at Ibrox. I don't know. I've not had a chance to fucking go on to Kerrydale Street and find out. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a strange one because I don't think that the resources are there just now for a new manager to come in and put his imprint on the club.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's,
There's
I might
only
be- I
been
might
money
be
to
wrong.
spend in
I might be
January,
wrong.
is there? And I'm guessing.
The only way there's money to spend is if they sell. I
Yeah,
think.
I'm guessing that they will be looking for a manager who's out of a job rather than having to pay compensation for them. Right, Stephen, I've got the odds on the favourites for the job. I want you to give me a noise for each manager.
Spunker
I give
shite
you.
bag.
Spunker shit.
We could do spunker shit, or you could just make a noise depending on who you think. Right, okay. So favourite 4-1, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Yes.
Alex Neil 6-1. Frank Lampard 6-1. Derek McInnes 7-1.
Get the fuck. No, you know he's for him.
Stephen Davis 8-1.
Oh, that's a shout. That's a shout. I never even thought of that.
No.
That's
Who's Stuart McCall then, me?
Kevin Thompson 10-1.
too soon, too early.
Right,
He's
okay.
Top of the league, mate, doing well.
Reno Gattuso 10-1.
Fucking Heathcliff. No.
No having Reno. Russell Martin 10-1.
I need to phone G4 claims again. I'm looking at, there's
Right,
two
so-
in that list. I'm looking at that. I've sat
Van Bronckhorst.
Van Bronckhorst and Lamps is the two I've went, and Davis is pure left field,
Lamps.
Lamps. Come out of Lamps.
We'll get Gio and we'll bring Lamps in, he's his assistant.
I think Davis, man, I've never...
What about Stephen Davis with another...
I want Giovanni Van Bronckhorst and Neil McCann.
Wow.
And Neil McCann is assistant. See, the thing, right now...
Wait a minute, what's the Neil McCann thing? Where's this coming from?
Because I would just I think he's got the makings and a good assistant, I do. I really do.
Did a decent job at Inverness.
I really
charge.
think Neil McCann is very knowledgeable. He knows he talks a good game. He's experienced. He's played with Van Bronckhorst. He knows what it's like at Rangers. I don't think he's management material. I think he's one of the guys that would suit a number 2.
Right, okay.
I really do.
Is Graham Murray just kicking about, hanging about Ibrox just now?
Graham Murray-
Just looking like he's...
last-
you need me, I'm over here!
No, I think
By
it's
the
the
way-
opposite, mate. I think the last I heard, Graham Murray was spotted at Glasgow Airport getting a plane to Yemen. He's no man any day with it, man.
We get to Yemen. Can I stay with you? But what about hang with that guy? See, Graham Murray, he must hang like a fucking ghoul over every manager at Ibrox. You know what I mean? Like
Sharpening his fucking
see it, and like
scythe.
I'd fucking the chairman like that, and see if you fuck up, and they just point. And Murray's behind a window, just standing looking like the fucking grim reaper,
Every cubicle door when you go to the toilet, you say.
sliding under it and all that.
See, the thing is, you're talking about Davis, right? See, right now, what's no ideal for us right now is it's an international break, right? There's a lot of players still at Auchenhowie, and there's a lot of players away.
Here's one for you. Stephen Davis gets the job of the Rangers manager. Would he be the only active top league manager to ever still be playing international football for his country?
Yes,
Oh,
I can't
He's
think
got
of
to be.
anyone. No, I know, you're right.
I really hope Davis right now said to Mike O'Neill, I've got business I need to deal with it now. I can't come international because you want your Davis, your Tavs, you want...
Never know, Mike O'Neill might go like, he's so valuable. I'm playing over when you say.
I don't want him, but I just feel like there's the big characters, your McGregors, your Davis, Tavs, they all need to be in that training. They need to be at Auchenhowie and they need to get everybody like Arfield and all that, all need to get everybody together and go, look.
But if this is an important...
The flip side of this for me, mate, and I'm no trying to have a go here. It's not a fucking gut shot or anything and try to spark a debate. I genuinely, it's not a great Celtic side in my opinion. I think we have got a chance. Still, with the squad we've got, we're still capable of being better than yous, I think.
But that all depends on the coaching.
No,
as well.
I know that. No, but a lot of it goes down to these players. The new going, look, the mentalities there. Just get out, get this league won. Whoever comes in.
But then you've got to look at the fact that a lot of them might be like,
I know, totally.
Do you think Gerrard will come back in for any of the players?
Do you know something?
Ryan Kent, maybe?
Do you know something?
Patterson.
Do you know something? Do you know something? How many times did you list when Rodgers went to Leicester?
Well, that's
Right,
it.
see up here, see a lot of our players up here, Rangers and Celtic, they're not good enough to play that league.
Ryan
That's
Kent is.
Is he? Why did Liverpool let him go?
Because
Why did
Salah.
nobody else come in for him? Why did
Because Salah and Mane.
nobody else in that?
Well,
league
that
come
was
in for
my point, remember, at the point I was making about Yakimakis.
Yeah.
How fast you say
And
that?
we've signed
Yakimakis.
we've signed the top scorer in Holland, and my point that I made to you, John, and I think I made it on Celtic Daft as well, is if he's that good, why is there no other Dutch teams coming in for him? Right? And I think he's hit the ground stumbling. So you can tell, you're right. Why is there not been any solid interest for England?
I think there's maybe out of that squad we've got to now, I think the only
Kamara.
Goldson's a defo, man. That's his favourite. Goldson's signing a pre-contract with Villa as we speak. Barisic's not.
I think that's why Goldson's not hanging.
Aye, maybe. And do you know what I think might have held this up? Walter Smith passing.
Right, really?
So, maybe. But then, right, this is the
fair. Aston Villa only chucked your man a few days ago.
I bet it's his mate that's a chief exec, and Dean Smith hasn't been getting results recently, and I think his best mate, well, not his best mate, but his mate who's a chief exec's probably been fucking texting Gerrard going, do you fancy this? Let's not kid ourselves, that's the right things would have been done. But I say that, right, and I said it in the group chat as well. See if you watch that interview after the Ross County game on Sunday, it is incredible. See if you watch it back. Right, honestly, man, the guy goes and there's so many big games coming up for players going on international duty, and he cuts them off and goes, none are as big as a semi-final. This is your bread and butter. We're Rangers. This is massive for us. This is the biggest game. And you're going, mate, how can you go for Sunday that to fucking getting off a fucking train down in London?
Head's been turned, mate. Head's been turned. You'll need to hear Grado's conspiracy theory on the management. Grado's got a brilliant conspiracy. By the way, Grado...
Hot
take. No, he was talking to me last night after. He said, hot take, Mark Awards. If Robbie Nielsen is appointed Rangers manager, Grado has nailed it. That's all I'll say. We'll get his...
Robbie Nielsen?
He's got to hear this conspiracy theory. So, yeah.
Can't be fucking Bridget Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
Here's a question for you boys. What's worse? Who's worse to lose? Brendan Rodgers or Steven Gerrard?
There's no contest.
There is Steven Gerrard.
There's no contest. See when Steven Gerrard's won you 3 trebles in a row, that's when it fucking matters.
Mate, see when your manager comes in and takes a team who are getting used to getting pumped 5-1 constantly off Celtic, and can hardly put a starting 11 together and turns it around in 3 years, getting to the last 16 Europa and fucking overturning news, then it hurts.
Aye, but what I will say is that wouldn't have happened if Brendan Rodgers was still there.
You can't say it's still hurting, isn't it?
It fucking hurts. like a dagger in my heart every time I say that guy's name.
Go and get him a pint.
Listen to my point. That doesn't happen if Brendan Rodgers is still there.
But we no top of the league when Rodgers left. We no beaten.
Win it. Wait a Wasps manager. Wait a Wasps manager. Neil Lennon came in like that.
Lennon became a Rangers manager.
He's available.
We'll get you in on. Would you take Neil Lennon?
I have to say the Twitter has been obviously the group chats. Twitter has been awash with memes and everything. The winner, however, is the derby between Villa and Leicester on the 3rd of December has been renamed El Ratico. El Ratico. That is the one.
You'll never see a bigger fucking viewership in Scotland for an English game of football.
I honestly think there will be so much. I think the Green Brigade, right? And the Union Bears might collaborate to travel down to that fucking
the Union Brigade. The Green Bears. Imagine the signs. Imagine the signs outside the stadium.
It's like Live Aid. It's like fucking collaboration come together.
Bob Geldof and fucking the Proclaimers standing outside.
English football, I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Oh, it's all kicking off in this day.
Brilliant. I hope that happens.
The team's coming out for that game, man. Gerrard and Rodgers with 8 bodyguards taking them out, man.
Well, we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. We'll find out who comes. Do you think they'll get someone in before the semi-final?
I think we'll have somebody in the next 2 days or something.
Do you think so?
I think that they'll go for interim.
I don't. I think it'll be done. I think
Graham Murty, anyone? Here's the goal standing over.
Is Ali still doing the garden?
Get Ali back into the garden. Come on, Douglas.
Clive Tildesley is his right hand man. If nothing else, a part in the dugout would be decent.
Honestly, man. Honestly.
We'll wait and see then. International weekend, boys. Scotland 1 win away from that World Cup playoff place. Injuries just coming in today. Scott McTominay's been sent home with a throat virus. Grant Chandler.
He's just dizzy trying to keep up with the Man City midfield. He's fucking getting flash.
He's getting motion sickness.
He needs to phone the call.
Steve Clark also lost Grant Hanley to injury, and Lyndon Dykes is suspended for that.
That's a big blow as well, isn't it? Dykes and Hanley.
Dykes has scored in the last 4 games.
Yeah, who'd you go for your starting 11?
I think he's got to play Nisbet up front.
Do you think does he give Jacob Brown, this boy for Stoke, a shot?
Well, he's coming in with a bit of fanfare, isn't he?
He's got a bit of noise about him, isn't he, man?
And I think we need to have a look at your man for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Gallagher, is it?
Is it Callum Gallagher? No, that's the DJ at Clyde, isn't it?
He's got Scottish.
No, he's
Connor
I've looked into this, Christopher. He's English. He's played at all levels for
he might
England.
have played at all the levels.
Has he got a Scottish guy?
He's definitely.
Has he?
Connor Gallagher.
Yeah, I must. Right, okay. Let's get. He looks like a player. Get him in. Because I googled that straight away when I saw him play Crystal Palace, and I was like, "Fucking Gallagher, he must be Scottish."
Well, that's the thing. He's had a better season so far than
Edward.
Sulky face.
Sulky face Saha.
No.
Edward.
Oh, Edward. All right. Sulky.
I agree with Tolo. Nisbet has to go up front.
Do you think so? So you go Shea Adams and Nisbet up front now?
I think that's a formidable two, man. I really like looking at it.
The movement of the two with the defences all
and
over the
Nisbet's
place.
a great finisher, man. He's a great finisher.
Who is it we're playing again?
Moldova.
Back three
Away
then.
from home?
Away from home. So back three. Craig Gordon's going to start in the sticks. Tierney
Tierney's maybe
Tierney's training, so you would think if he's training he'll probably start. Then you've got Hendry, he'll probably be a starter. So it's that third.
It's always that one where you go Cooper or you go
Who?
Cooper.
Who's that?
Oh, for God's sake, I can't remember. Maybe he got it wrong in the question the other week there.
Cooper.
Liam Cooper. There you go.
That guy for Leeds.
Now that team you like?
Aye.
I think they've been fucking rotten this season.
Mate.
I think you go with
It's McKenna or Cooper, isn't it?
McKenna or Cooper, then you've Robertson. Then
Midfield.
I don't like this thing he does with Fraser at times, playing him as like a wing back.
I know,
What's
that
that all about?
No, I don't think
Is Patterson injured?
No. Patterson came on against Ross County.
Patterson will play.
Patterson will go on the right, Robertson the left, and then you're going to have that
Gilmore, McGregor.
Billy Gilmore will go out there and probably man of the match again. And that Farker, I'll be sitting with his fucking weird accent, like that Farker fucking going, why didn't I play that boy?
You've got John McGinn.
Gilmore,
McGregor,
and
Gilmore and John McGinn. And then
Christie's can't play. He's suspended.
And then you've got Adams and Nisbet up front, I think. And it's Moldova. That team should take care of Moldova.
We forgot Nakamura.
All right, get Nakamura.
Left back.
Fingers crossed, win against Moldova. Then Denmark's just, it's just a fun game for the boys at Hampden.
It's a free hit.
It's a free hit. Mental story.
We're going to drop points to Moldova, don't you?
Well, of course. According to a statistician, this is get some wood to touch. According to a statistician, we have a 97.2% chance of finishing second in the World Cup group.
So, if anything was 2.8% certain, it's that.
Mental story. We've got to talk about this before we're getting our daft stories. This PSG story.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
That is horrendous.
Absolutely. If you haven't heard this story, it was one of the players, Amine Diallo, was taken into custody by investigators looking into assault on our fellow midfielder, Kiera Hamarao. Diallo was taken into custody on Wednesday morning, a day after she placed her injured teammate in the starting 11 for PSG's Champions League game against Real Madrid. Hamarao, a 31-year-old signed from Barcelona before the season, did not play because she sustained injuries on her legs and hands after an attack, which took place after a team dinner. Now, Diallo...
Did she start that game?
Yes. So Diallo had given Hamarawi, I need to spread it. I left home after this dinner, right? Mm-hmm. And then the car was kind of held up, and one of the players was attacked, injuries to the arms, the legs. Now, the suspicions is it all been set up by this girl Diallo in a sort of Tonya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan situation?
Do you know what it's like, man? It's like an episode of a French equivalent female dream team. It used to get in the sky. It's like a plot for like a female football team equivalent of what Dream Team was like on Sky back in the day. Or Footballers' Wives. It's like that.
So I must give you a few ideas though, Stephen, as an actor. So Martin Compston, I'm thinking here, right?
There's no point in having an idea because I'll pitch it and they'll take it and give Martin a part.
That's it. You know, the audition comes along. You're like, Martin, you want to lift home? You want to lift home? There's Grado standing there with a baseball bat.
No, it's Murty. Murty's standing there.
His big cloak. His big manager cloak.
Marty's been mutted.
Grado, Lenny Murdoch.
Right, I've got a question for you. Right, of your squads, of your team's current squads, who would you be least surprised to hear had set up another player to get done?
Morelos.
I knew you were going to say that, man.
Definitely.
Oh man.
What about you? What about the Celtic?
Me, Mikey Johnson.
Mikey Johnson.
Because he's the most unluckiest guy on the planet with injuries, and he just probably feels like the world owes him something. Every cunt's getting games and all that.
Take that, Jota.
I reckon it'd be Aidan Keena for the Bairns. Aidan Keena would definitely be getting us up.
Never heard of him, John.
I fucking knew that was coming. Right, daft stories this week. Right, boys, do you want to hear about a doctor has revealed people with ginger hair may have hidden superpowers?
No, for fuck's sake.
Do you want to talk about the child genius from Mars who claims the Great Sphinx of Egypt holds a secret that will change Earth forever? Or do you want to talk about a parent who slammed inappropriate Squid Game doll at UK shopping centre?
I want to hear the second one.
The child genius who thinks...
I want to know what's...
Right, okay.
Aye.
So Boris Kabrinovich from Volgograd in Russia said unlocking the ancient monument, the Sphinx, will reveal the blueprint for mankind. Now, this boy is 11 years old, right? And scientists have been amazed at what he knows about space, right? And he's basically made this bold assertion in a viral video from 2017. He's called himself the Indigo Child and says life on Earth will never be the same again when the secrets of the Great Sphinx in Giza are finally unlocked. Scientists can't explain this boy. They can't explain how he knows all this about space. He says he remembers how he was a Martian pilot who travelled to Earth after his planet was devastated by war that broke out between two sets of beings. He claims that despite there being few survivors, some still exist after grasping how to construct protection lodges and build new weapons.
This is a Netflix original series.
This boy from Russia, because scientists cannot, he's
Fuck the kidnapping storyline, I'm taking this.
They've no idea how he knows this.
Child genius and shield in, right?
When worse has happened. When worse storylines.
You know what? We need to go and check out the Sphinx. The world's secrets could be under the Sphinx.
Am I the only person that whenever they hear Sphinx thinks they're an arsehole?
Aye. I'll kick you right in the fucking Sphinx there.
Right, do you know what? This sort of stuff, I like to think that I don't believe it, but see when you read more into it, you're like, well, actually...
I know. I'm the same, mate. I'm old.
How did they build the pyramids? And the technology, I mean, Machu Picchu, it's baffling.
It is baffling.
It is baffling. You watched Indiana Jones, that last one, which was shite. I mean, is there alien life? Is what we're asking of football.
Do you know what, man? I really love getting into these conversations, but it's on my mind to do, Gerrard, man.
Right, okay. Right.
I'll tell you what, thank fuck Grado's not here because his fucking podcast
that would have been it.
Oh, I see something, by the way. That's what fucking
if he's ever watched the documentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, wait a minute, I think we need to touch on the ginger hair thing and all.
Right, do you want to touch on the ginger hair?
I think we need to.
Right, okay.
Why does it say that?
My girlfriend has got ginger hair.
Well, the guy is basically...
And she's got superpowers. She can make my willy stand up with it touching it.
What don't you have to talk about the ginger hair? There we go. There.
Right,
so later on the show, playing for Pies, the player profile playoff on the big question: who is the most underrated footballer to play for your club? Get thinking about that, boys. We'll reveal last week's swankiest moment of the week with Eldorado. It was a landslide, but we'll get to that. You'll get to vote on a new one as well. And Grado's off, but don't worry, I have written 3 riddles for you, boys and teammates. It's a Rangers legend. Steven Gerrard. No, it's not. It is Derek Johnstone.
Big DJ.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Call them now on 01698 767 172.
Right, we are joined by a bit of sunshine, a bit of happiness on this very sad day.
Yes.
Well,
let's be honest. I think they tweeted exactly what they should have tweeted yesterday. And if you manage to crash your car...
When you heard the news that Russell Martin was coming
When you heard the news that Russell Martin was coming to Rangers, apparently, then there's only one company to get in touch with me.
So, Nicole, I nearly crashed my motor when I heard there was rumours about Russell Martin coming to Rangers. See, if I did, what should I do? Who should I phone? Talk me through the whole process, please.
And that's the thing, guys. If you're involved in any sort of accident, you know what I always say? Phone G4 Claims first. In fact, I hope... if that was the case, it was someone crashing into you, because that's obviously the ideal scenario for me. If you are causing an accident and then phoning me, you know, the ideal scenario is I want someone to have heard the bad news and crashed into you. But yes, phone me for any accident.
You need to have a word with your social media team then, because it was them that says if you've crashed your car when you heard it, get in touch.
But you could have heard the news and you could have just like took your eyes off and this maniac's coming towards you.
That's absolutely right.
Maybe the guy in the other car heard the news.
Aye,
and it was his fault.
And crashed into me.
And the best bit is, guys, what I always say is, and the social media was absolutely accurate, you always do contact me first. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes when you've been involved in an accident and you're not sure whose fault it is, you're always better double checking that first. That's the reason why I say that. And also as well, we do help you. You know, we have loads and loads and loads of garages involved with our services and ourselves where, you know, they're willing to help you. If you want to use an independent body shop that's close to you, you're not getting sent to one of these insurer garages where you don't know where your car's going. It's going half across the country and you don't know why. You know, there's garages that are local to you that you can use. And if you use them, they're willing to put your excess through and waive some of your excess and things for you, so you're not having to pay that up front. And that is so much more helpful for you. So that's why we do always recommend you phone us first. So that's absolutely correct. If you're in any sort of accident, please phone us first. But obviously our special is the non-fault accidents, because we can provide you with a like-for-like replacement hire car. We can get your car repaired at one of these amazing body shops that are approved body shops on the network of ours, and obviously insurance as well, and we can get that sorted the exact same way and obviously treat you as a VIP. If your car is not able to be repaired, then we can obviously claim back the pre-accident value for your car as well. If you've suffered any sort of whiplash claim, sore neck, sore back, if you need to be off your work, even if you're not needing to be off your work, phone us and ask the question. If you've been a passenger in a taxi, the taxi's been involved in an accident, you're not at fault, you're sitting in the car, phone us. We can help you. And it's 01698 767 172. It's not at fault claims.
Easy. Thank you, Nicole.
It's Football Daft Open Line where anything goes. Can Scotland make the World Cup playoffs?
Yes.
You think so? You would think
yes,
so.
I do.
Moldova,
Yes.
We'll get beat off Moldova, then we'll turn Denmark over.
Yeah.
Aye.
5-1 at home.
Who should Rangers appoint?
Giovanni van Bronckhorst.
Yep, I'm sure we've got a couple of calls coming on to talk about that. And when will Grado change his first nappy? Remember that first nappy change?
Oh my God, that first one. They don't let you use baby wipes. It's just the cotton, and it's like this.
And it's not that.
It's green.
It's that black.
And black.
As if the man's been drinking fucking Guinness for 9 months.
We do know.
Grado's the type, I know he's going to come into panel rehearsals with shine his nose on it.
I don't think he'll be able to handle it.
He's going to come in with shine his nose
Mate, see
on
if
it.
you mention feet to Grado, he
Aye.
walks.
Oh, I was going to tell a story about him, but wait.
No, wait till he's back.
Wait,
Wait till
he's
he's back. We're going to see pictures of this in the group chat,
Aye,
aren't we?
aye.
Jesus, it's not going to be pleasant. Anyway, let's go to the open line. Let's go to our first caller this afternoon. It is Dale.
Good, is that the Blue Brazil then?
That is indeed.
How's your season gone?
Shite. Nah,
Is that just like an automatic reply you do every season now, mate? Just shite.
got Morris Ross on board as well, so hopefully.
Friend of the show. He was
Friend
there
of
on
the
the
show,
show. He's
yeah,
a very
yeah.
intelligent, intense human being.
Unless he's in a dressing room.
What?
Unless he's in a dressing
Unless he's in
room.
a dressing room. Aye.
Now, Dale, I've got something to admit to here, right? Okay.
We need to get something off our
We need
chest
to
here,
get
Dale.
something off our chest here, Dale, right now, Dale. We record
No,
the
listen,
podcast-
we don't need to get in.
Aye,
off
John
of- John needs
yeah,
to get something
yeah,
off his chest.
Yeah.
Do you know what, Dale? There's been a fuck up.
There's been a fuck up. Now, for people listening to the podcast, we record the podcast out of sequence. So at this point, we've already recorded one of our sections of our show.
Guess what the section was, Dale?
I guess what the section of the show is that we record. Now, Dale, you wanted to play the player profile playoff with piesports.com. We've recorded that bit, and I thought the guy that was coming on for that, but he was actually coming on for the open line. So what I'm going to do, Dale, is we're going to flip it around, okay? So you're going to come on and play the player profile playoff next week, right? To try and win the prize. And this week, you're on the open line. Let's talk about Morris Ross.
What's your point, Dale?
You've put the boy in the spot now, you look, man.
I think I'm a big River City fan, to be honest with you, right?
There we go. Let's talk about River City.
Let's talk about River City.
Here's one for you, Stephen, right?
Go for it, mate.
If you had to pick 5 people, right, that you have worked with as like in River City as for a 5-a-side team, who would it be?
Roshin for centre half.
Mate, that's a really good question. Right, I'm going to throw Jordan Young in there because he can run all day.
So he told Graham Souness.
Aye, he did. He told Graham Souness that when we done the charity match.
Did you play in a charity match?
I've played in a couple, mate.
Right.
Jordan Young is... I play fives with Jordan now and again. He's rapid. No rapid, he's just got some engine on him, right?
Is he a baller?
He's alright, aye. Decent football player, yes.
Right.
Yes, very decent.
Is he a baller? What's this basketball?
Right.
Sorry, I'm trying to be like that.
You're doing basketball daft with Ab too often, that's your problem.
Jordan's in there. I'm going to go with... who else am I going to put
See,
in
if
there?
you don't put Grado in goals, he's going to go fucking mental.
Grado the goalie. Grado's a goalie, right? Grado's a goalie. Do you know who I'm going to put in there? Because he will just kick fuck out of everybody. Alex Ferns. Right, Alex Ferns, who played Rick Harper, who played Trevor in EastEnders.
How long was Alex Ferns in?
Do you like gravy, more?
Alex Ferns was in River City for about a full series. He was playing the character Rick Harper, who was one of the baddest folk in it, and I shared the dressing room with him, and he is fucking mental.
Why have we never had this guy on the show?
I know. He ended up in Chernobyl. He's in the new Batman that's coming out.
Yeah.
He's doing really well.
You see, normally you don't hear actors going on for British soaps and stuff like that to Hollywood, especially with a big scar on the back he's had for the iron.
So if I go Jordan, Alex,
Grado, Alex.
Right, and the two more I'm going to put in
Stefan Dennis.
Stefan.
You've not worked with Stefan Dennis.
He was in River City.
So he fucking was.
I'm not going with Stefan Dennis.
Don't make it feel good.
No, Stefan Dennis can't play because he's only got one leg.
One leg.
Was that just his character?
We need to start telling you the difference between...
This is reality.
They used the same sets.
His real name's no Bob, by the way. Just want to say that.
Right, I'm going to put in... I'll put Rasheen in. Big Rasheen, and then I've got to put Lenny Murdoch in, haven't I? Even though Frank's got like one lung, he can't breathe. But I'll put Frank in there just for the sake of.
Why don't you put him in goals? That way he doesn't need to run away.
And Grado can go.
Get the laugh of watching Grado try to play football.
Lenny's in goals and Grado's at the back with Rasheen. Jordan's just running about. No, Jordan's up front just playing. He's like the graveyard shift lone striker, and Alex Ferns just putting fuck out everybody.
Well, I know what the best part is. You've not got yourself a game.
No, I know, because I'm too good.
You're the manager.
Hey,
Stevie, where's your manager?
Right. I yourself that. I'm surprised it took you this long.
Dale, thank you for coming on. I apologise.
We'll
see you next week for the
playoff. Definitely, I'll come back.
Hey, Dale, before you go back, Dale, what's your expectations and thoughts on Morris Ross? I'm flipping the open line on you now.
He just needs to stabilise the ship, I think. We brought Gary Bowen in about 4 years ago, and he's a big fan of hoofball. So, and he's too old school. We need somebody that's going to play a bit of football and have a bit of style.
Somebody forward thinking, mate.
I think he'll give it. I think he'll do that.
Plus, Gary Bowen's done fuck all since T-Rex.
We went down the route of Liam Fox a couple of years ago, and it never worked. But I don't think this is much of a risk. I think Morris Ross he's managed in Norway, Faroe Islands. He's not a county assistant, which is probably best not to talk about. But
we'll skip past that bit, mate. Skip past that. I think honestly, obviously, I'm only gone for when I've spoke to him on this, and I think you'll agree, John. You weren't there that day, weren't you? At all.
Morris Ross was on. I wasn't on the show.
He was very
smart,
very
really
intelligent, and very
really clued up.
I'm not saying
I'm
he
interviewing him
had
next week.
preconceived.
But I've met him once and he was wearing a fur coat. That's all I've got to say in the matter. I just thought he was wearing knickers.
Big Ron Atkinson on the sideline, man, his fur coat.
No, he looked like, remember Rocky 5? Remember the guy? Honestly, that's what he looked like.
Tommy Gunn by his side.
No, mate, I hope it works out for you, man. And
Me too.
I hope to see you next week, mate.
Definitely.
Nice one.
Thanks,
All right,
mate.
Dale.
Cheers.
Thanks
See you
very
later,
much.
Dale. Thank you, mate.
Thank you. Take care.
Cheers, bud.
Let's actually move on to a genuine call on the open
He was a
line
lovely
this
guy,
week.
though, wasn't
This
he?
is the most
Lovely
disorganised nonsense I've ever been
quite
involved
like it,
with.
though.
I'm loving it.
Is that how we go? Let's
I
speak
seen a
to...
name there. I've seen a name that I recognise.
I seen a name that I recognise also.
Let's speak to a man who's no stranger to the open line, big Rangers supporter, and he is very angry today.
You angry, Ryan?
He's wanting to vent. He's got the stage right now. Ryan Dunbar, take it away.
Well,
Oh, for fuck's sake, you're fucking raging, Ryan.
I'm angry, right? Because of the way he done it,
Right.
and
You wanted me to come to your house and ask you if it was all right?
very funny you. I said this. I put a comment on Stephen's tweet. 2 words for you, and Brendan Rodgers.
That's exactly what it's like, Ryan. That's exactly what it's like. He's done a moonlight. He's upped and fucked off.
It's becoming a theme with our managers, though. Like Warburton and Davy Weir did it on a Friday night one night. They just fucked off. I mean, fucking sitting watching fucking Terry McNicholl and Sky Sports News.
Aye, but Brendan, fucking Mark Warburton didn't know that he had left.
Aye, I don't know. Right, sorry, Ryan, on you go, mate.
I just this
Don't greet, mate. Don't greet.
It was no. It's. I was angry, but then for some reason, I found myself agreeing with Jamie Carragher when he put it in the simplest terms. Really, it's not about who the bigger club is, whether it's Rangers or Aston Villa. It's about the bigger league, and he's no left. He's no left Rangers.
He's left Scottish football.
He's left Scottish football.
Aye, I know.
I was saying to Stephen, Ryan, on the way into the show today, this isn't just a blow for Rangers. This is a blow for Scottish football as a whole. The guy's got a huge profile in the game. And no matter what any Celtic fan wants to say, and we all say stuff in our fucking group chats and stuff like that, but Steven Gerrard is a massive name in world football.
Yep.
And like you said it right, Stephen, he's box office. Now, I'm wondering if yous are going to be in the same position that I was in when Rodgers left, because it wouldn't have mattered who we appointed, right?
That's right.
They weren't going to capture the imagination the same way that Brendan Rodgers did. And I think Shorty, another huge name. Rangers need to watch what they're doing here, because you seen what happened with us when we reappointed Lennon. The football went out the window, and like I said, the imagination of the fans wasn't there anymore. They need to make sure they get this right. They need to. So it needs to be a big name. With the greatest will in the world, and no disrespect to anybody that I'm going to mention here, they're not the same. They're not of the same profile as Gerrard. There's been people mentioned like Alex Neil.
No.
Right? People mentioned, fair enough, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's a big name, right? The guy played in the World Cup, he won trebles with Rangers, played for Barcelona, won the European Cup. He's played in the World Cup final for Holland actually as well. You know what I mean? And that's a huge name. It's not as big a name globally as Steven Gerrard.
It's as close as we can get.
It's probably the best option that you can get there. And then you look at the other names, like I said, Alex Neil, Kevin Thompson, who is it? Russell Martin. You know what I mean? Let's say Russell Martin comes in. I think that brings a cloud over Ibrox for a while until
he starts getting results.
And if that can work.
So it doesn't matter who you get in, as long as they deliver results and are a good manager. It doesn't matter the name, as long as they can deliver the results.
It's lost the cog,
Well, I mean, that's a good example, Chris. Postecoglou, everyone's going, who the fuck? Oh,
Well, that's it. We were getting Eddie.
I know it's fucking the best things in sliced bread.
Who do you want, Ryan?
Who do I want?
Don't say Gattuso, mate.
I think Gattuso would be box office.
He would be box office,
but he'd be
manage a fucking raffle.
He would end up fucking.
So, I'd be fearful because, no offence to him, but you don't know whether they'd pat you in the back of that.
He'd be in the stand more than he would be in the fucking dugout.
Be brilliant.
He's a crackpot, man. But maybe that's what you need.
Who are you wanting, Ryan?
See, to be honest, Stephen, I don't know. I really don't.
Who's your Blackpool manager these days?
Just bring back Stephen. Just bring him back.
Oh, do you know who's at your job? Big fucking Ori teams down south.
Oh, the team down south. Warnock.
No.
Is he not a Rangers man as well?
He is, by the way.
What I've seen somebody saying, man, Neil Warnock's available 4-4 fucking 2.
Lambert and Butler up front.
I put this on Twitter earlier on.
What are you saying, pal?
I put this on Twitter earlier on about the Blackpool manager. No.
Who is the Blackpool manager now?
A guy called Neil Critchley.
By the way, he's done a decent job with him.
They're no bad, man.
I know.
Yeah.
He has, aye.
It's mad that I know how Blackpool are doing. I don't know why, but I just do.
When my Blackpool head on, no, I don't want me leavers. But with my Rangers head on, I'm actually thinking if they left Blackpool to come to Rangers,
it's a big jump. It's a big step.
Plus, you can't go to the fucking pleasure beach every weekend.
The thing I was going to ask Stephen is, I think was a nigh uncertainty of Stephen is the fact that he's going to come back up to Rangers, Gerrard, and say, I want him.
I don't think that'll happen.
Right. See, Ryan, this is what I was saying earlier on, right? We heard all this when Rodgers went. Callum McGregor was linked with a move to Leicester for day one when Rodgers went there. He was linked with Edward McGregor. See the bottom line, I think, see your Celtic players and your Rangers players up here, they're not good enough to play in the English Premier League.
But then, when you look at Ayer,
I know, but I think there's a handful of players there that could go down maybe right. I think if you've got money that Rodgers is getting at Leicester, and you've got the money that's been put on the table for like Gerrard rumoured to be for Villa, see that list he's got and all that money he's got. See your Joe Aribos, your Ryan Kents and whatever. They're nowhere near the top of that list.
But what I will say is, I think there's a few players that go for Rangers to Aston Villa. And
I think Goldson's signed a pre-contract soon.
I think they improve that first team.
I think Kamara, for example.
Aye,
Kamara and Kent I think
maybe,
would improve it.
Aye.
Yeah.
But I think you need to look at, there was interest in Patterson for the Premiership last year.
Everton.
You know what I mean? And Everton and Aston Villa are a bit easy Aussies, like, you know what I mean, the same kind of level. And he knows Gerrard knows him.
The scary thing is for me, right, and I don't know about you, Stephen, is if Gerrard comes back and says, I want to take Alfredo with me.
I think he's all right there. I think there needs to. I think this will be his last. I don't think Gerrard likes Morelos.
Ryan, are you saying it as in you're worried if Alfredo went? I see, mate.
I think he's all right.
See, I'm the other side of the fence now, Ryan. Well, with Morelos, I think he needs a bit up the arse. I think really this season, his performances, his attitude, his work rate, everything has been very, very poor.
You're getting this season's Edward out of him.
Aye, he's no interested. He's no there. You seen it at the weekend there. The front three, when he led the line away to Bromby, it was pathetic. And see at the weekend there, and he didn't even come off the bench, mate. We looked for the first time in a long time without Morelos in the team. We looked more dynamic. We looked like there was more movement. There was more hunger up front. With Morelos here, now, see, to be honest, I don't even know what you'd get from Morelos now, to be honest, the way he's playing, because look at his goal record as well. See, when you're playing up front for Rangers, you should be scoring. You should be scoring goals.
But you need to look at it as well as, Ryan, I don't know if you agree with me on this one. I think Morelos looks like the sort of guy that heads away somewhere else now. Right?
Big time.
And I think Gerrard being able to leave the now could put Morelos into he's able to leave and it might just put him in an even worse sort of frame of mind.
It might be the opposite.
It
could be. It could be. Morelos is the sort of guy that goes like, fuck you. He likes to say fuck you.
I'd be more worried if maybe Kamara, Kent, Aribo. There's so many players that come into my head on a list before Morelos.
Like he's have got Barisic as well.
Yeah,
I don't think him and Gerrard ever seen eye to eye much. I don't really.
He's
know.
not having a great season.
No, they go to the same chapel.
Wait, you want to say, right?
Go on.
Well, Ryan, thank you very much for coming on. I hope the grieving process goes all right in the loss of Stephen
And
Gerrard.
I hope
it sounds like he's in anger at the moment, Ryan.
He's also got the potential that he's going to lose his Blackpool manager as well to come up to Ibrox.
Ryan, my DMs are always open.
Don't say that, for fuck's sake. You'll never leave you alone.
Cheers, Ryan, mate.
Thanks, Ryan.
No bother, guys. See if I think about it in the way of Jamie Carragher. I'm all right because he's right.
Well, I think then you've hit the next period, which is bargaining, Ryan. When I'm looking at the stage,
Ryan, you're going to be hanging out your window asking for Gerrard and a bag of cans.
I'm just going to say
that's probably due about Sunday.
I know. By the way, after bargaining comes depression, Ryan. So you've got a wee bit of roller coaster to go, but then you'll finally get to acceptance. So you'll get there in the end, my friend.
That's it.
All right, Ryan.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Bye.
Cheers, lads.
And that is it for this week's Open Line.
Football Daft's big question.
So it's on to the big question, and this week is pretty simple, boys. Who is that player that went under the radar at your club but never quite got the plaudits that everybody else did, you know? That right back who was always scored a 7 but never grabbed the headlines, you know? Basically, who's the most underrated player to play for your club?
There's a few that come to my mind. One of them was a German right back called Andy Hinkle, who was solid all the time and just up and away one day.
He was a German international, didn't he?
Aye,
he played like for was it Leverkusen or Munich?
Stuttgart.
He was very Mr. Reliable, wasn't he?
Aye, he really was. And he scored a few goals.
I think he's went on to a big job in management. Is he not at Spartak Moscow or something like that? Or he was certainly involved in management. Like
we lost touch after he left.
Let's find out.
I think he ended up managing Stuttgart. I might be wrong.
Possibly another one that was underrated for me was Big Stan Varga. Was really good for us.
He was a good centre half, Stan Varga.
He was really good. Obviously, Didier Agathe.
Stuttgart, he managed Stuttgart.
Oh, did he?
2019.
So
Didier Agathe?
There's a few Didier Agathe's probably.
But Didier Agathe, I mean, he was fat. I mean, I remember watching him at Ray.
I thought Newman had him in his back pocket. Everything.
He was fast, but he was a bit of a one-trick pony. Didier Agathe.
That's all you need. But
see his first season.
See when that one trick's a fucking topper.
He was fast as fuck.
But then when you've got Arthur Newman at left back, mate, come on.
I know, but listen.
I'm the same kind of as told. You know who? It's another fullback.
Sergio Perini.
No, he is. He was very good. The only signing that made it really from the Paul Aguirre era, Sasa Papac. What a fucking player.
He was consistently. What's your feelings on Sasa?
Sasa is my favourite Rangers player.
Really? Aye. What a player.
Just
7 out of 10 every week.
Consistent, yeah.
And he was, I think he was originally a centre half, and we played him at left back all the time, and he just made, like, fucking Louis you made the song your own, right? He made the position his own, and he was there through the white years. He was there when we got to Manchester. He was fucking brilliant. But the other one who came to my head first, you mentioned one of them earlier on as well, Claudio Reyna's one. He was very underrated. But seeing amongst all these stars we had at the time, all these big players, there was this little fucking Turkish prince called Tugay.
Was he underrated?
I think at Rangers we didn't really appreciate him.
He was underrated at Rangers.
But when he went to Blackburn.
He played under Souness at Blackburn, didn't he?
Oh, what I mean,
honestly.
Any time you see anyone that's in for you for Blackburn, anyone that's played beside Tugay, they always say, that is the fucking, you know, what a player.
See, technically, and I remember, I think there was one night, Advocat played him as a sweeper, and he was honest.
Was that in Europe?
I love
when midfielders move back into something. Matthias Sammer.
Mate, that's exactly who he was like that night, honestly.
Do you remember, I know obviously we're talking about, but do you remember they moved Chris Sutton from up front to centre
Aye.
half.
Yeah. He used to play there, didn't he?
Aye.
Before moving.
Was that not, did you not do that against Rangers one time?
Aye, played against
Yeah,
Rangers.
aye.
The centre half.
I'm going to go for Falkirk wise.
Nobody cares, John. Anybody else?
I see.
I'm kidding on, go for it.
Crunchy. Scott McKenzie. No.
Peter Henderson.
Scott McKenzie, who's now... Simon, these are all legends, but Scott McKenzie, you guys might not know, he played for St Mirren, played for Falkirk, got a testimonial at Falkirk, central midfield for years and years and years, was doing the job that no one noticed, because back in the day, you didn't have the, these players now that win the ball, take it from midfield, sideways pass. He was doing it before. Claude Makalele was doing it. Big Scott McKenzie was bossing it in the first division. And
guys, you heard it here first. This is why
Chelsea missed a trick.
This is why it's called football daft, because we've just heard that Claude Makalele based his game on Scott McKenzie.
He did. And do you know what? You're going back to the midfielder. When McCall came back in charge, we got Scotty back. He moved Scott back into a sweeper role and he was fucking brilliant. Kevin James in front of him as well.
It's amazing because he sold his clothing line to JD Sports.
He fucking made a fortune.
Scott McKenzie, he made a team of the millennium. I
don't think I've ever been involved in a conversation about football. We went for Scott McKenzie or Falkirk to Claude Makalele.
I don't think anybody has.
No one has. Right, okay, boys, got a lot of suggestions from the listeners.
Oh, that's a good one. Sean has got in touch, says, I don't think Neil Alexander gets the credit he should. Was never going to be number one with McGregor there, but was a crack number two. Beasley also. Beasley was a good player, but that's a really good shout on Neil Alexander. Can you see that run to Manchester? Neil Alexander was fucking brilliant. He had some right good games, and I think he was. Good shout, Sean.
John comes in and says, actually, another great shout is Beram Kayal, who done it for about 18 months until fucking Lee McCulloch got a hold of his ankle one time. And then you never seen him again. But I tell you what, he went down there, had a decent enough career down south.
Brighton, wasn't it?
Big Jig didn't fucking miss him, by the way. He's a decent player, man. Jason says, Pat McGinley at Hibs.
And at Celtic.
Aye, and he's one of the names, Pat McGinley. I mean, you probably could argue he was underrated because
didn't get a Scotland cap.
He played for Celtic for one season. He was the top goal scorer that season, and then we moved him back onto Hibs.
Aye.
When have you ever heard the Hibs signing the top goal scorer in Scottish football?
I know. I think Pat McGinley kind of, I don't know, maybe. I think you see like maybe Lewandowski's based his game on Pat McGinley.
Tony Kroos. But actually, in his acceptance speech for the Ballon d'Or, Modric mentioned him by name. Blair says, actually one that I mentioned earlier, Blair says, easy, Claudio Reyna.
See, Reyna, right? Reyna is one of the guys. See, we signed him again, kind of in the same bracket as two guys. We had all these players, like your Van Bronckhorst, we'd still had Alberts there, and then see Claudio Reyna, whether he was playing in the middle of the park or sometimes played right back for us. What a fucking player. What
He's a great player.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he never got the credit he deserved because he was American.
There's maybe a bit of that, isn't there?
I think there's a stigma attached to that. There is and I think
that's Marcus Davies.
Marcus from my bit. There is. But the next caller, or whatever caller or guy that writes in, I'm no fucking agreeing with you. I think you're at the wind-up, right? The Lone Ranger, right, is describing this ex-Rangers player as a baller, right? And John used the expression baller earlier on to one of his calls.
I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I think it's a autocorrect. I think it's bollock.
Salim Kerkar was not a fucking baller, right? He was average at best, right? So the Lone Ranger, you're in the cunt.
I think I can't even remember Salim Kerkar. Neither I can.
Exactly.
Was he in the journey?
No, he was at the time of. I think Alex McLeish signed Sam Kerkar. Right. I think McLeish signed him.
Ryan Kenny says Jason Scotland for St Johnstone.
He was unbelievable for St
Scoring
Johnstone.
for fun in the first division. No bigger club wanted him, and he went down south and scored for fun down there with Swansea. Now, Jason Scotland, I remember we were trying to get him to play for Scotland, right? And he said that he had a, look this up, right?
No, I remember that.
Right?
I did.
And he said he had a Scottish granny, and he had pledged for Scotland, and we're like, this guy's a machine. This guy scores goals like fuck. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out it was all a lot of bollocks, and couldn't he play for Scotland?
Marketing would have been through the roof.
Scotland on the back.
Ian Crocker was choking for that, wasn't he? It's Scotland for Scotland!
Aye, but you know, as much as he was buzzing for...
Sakala?
No, Mervyn Selick. And Celtic scored for Rangers!
Did you hear him when Sakala completed his hat-trick against Motherwell?
No.
And the Rangers fans are dedicated followers of fashion.
You know, I never even seen that, and I made that joke after it, and I thought, I'm dead funny.
Stealing Crocker's patter.
Chrissy Alexander's got in touch. Andy Little, friend of the show. For me, he always came on and changed games. Great wee player.
Wee player?
Two things
He's
here.
not a big
That's
guy.
exactly what I'm saying. When they say Andy Little came on and changed games, I'm not really buying that either, Chrissy. And he's close to 6 foot. Andy Little, he's not a wee guy.
He scored in more Old Firm games than you.
Than me? No, I know. Aye.
He changed that game, didn't he?
He changed that game before.
I think he started that one.
He didn't. He didn't come off a bench and score.
Aye, like with his first touch or something.
Aye. So he's
By the way, you're right, he did change games. Good on you. Good on you. Chrissy Alexander. That leads us on to Callum McDougall, who says, Yves Mavoto was at Dunfermline Athletic only for 1 season, but was a force to be reckoned with.
Where is he now?
I don't know. What even...
Find that out, John. Where is he?
Him and Claude Makalele are studying videos of fucking Stuart MacKenzie or whatever that guy's name is. Scott MacKenzie.
Pocket legend.
John Hunter's going to make a good one here. I agree with this one. Morris Malpass at Dundee United. I think he was a good player, Malpass. He was.
I don't think he was underrated, was he?
I think he's held in quite...
Scotland cap.
He's held in quite high esteem, isn't he?
But what you need to remember is most of his career was with Motherwell.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's went to Dundee United. And he slotted in like a Lego brick.
Yes, definitely. Oh, God. Next one. Berham Kyle's Nightmare is the next one.
Talking about people slotting in, we've got the jigsaw here, haven't we? And I believe this is actually my cousin Ross Johnson that's wrote in with this one. Lee McCulloch for Rangers.
There we go.
Utility man.
Aye. I mean, it was...
And went all the way down, all the way back up.
Aye. He's one of the players where you knew he cared. Do you know what I mean? And I think when Watty signed him and brought him up, he wasn't technically the greatest.
What you mean is, he's one of the players that everybody knew he was in the lodge at the weekend.
He's up there, yes, he's up there. Dougie Mason has got in touch and said Claude Makalele for Chelsea.
No, he's actually said Scott MacKenzie for Porter.
There you go. Well done, Dougie. With me on that one.
Grant McIver, who is a friend of mine and a friend of the show, says Bobby Pettit or Sean Maloney for Celtic.
Sean Maloney wasn't underrated, was he?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Sean Maloney always performed to the best of his abilities at Celtic, to be honest with you. But Bobby Pettit had a good half a season, Grant.
Aye. He had a good half a game. He just fucking took a piss out of Rickson for half an hour. Rickson got took half and then...
He done well against... he done well in the Champions League that season as well, actually.
There we go, Bobby Pettit. Lex Richardson, it says, at St Mirren or later, Hugh Murray.
Big Shuggy Murray,
aye.
Guys,
this one's bollocks. He wasn't underrated.
If anything, overrated.
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, Davy Robertson was class, man.
Oh, sorry, I was reading Ali McCoy's one. Davy Robertson, the man of the phantom goal. Ibrox.
Honestly, man.
Jerry, what's the score?
See Davy Robertson and Brian Laudrup on that left side, man. Fucking unplayable.
Davy Robertson in your all-time Rangers 11.
Do you know why he wasn't pure in it? He wasn't pure in it because I was very young and a lot of my memories of Davy Robertson, but Arthur Newman just pips him for me.
Aye.
Definitely. But Davy Robertson was dynamite. I think when you look back, he's kind of like...
Rangers have never struggled for a left back.
No, it's like one of the ones with Davy Robertson, I think. Was he like one of the ahead of his time a bit? He's one of the attacking fullbacks.
He was,
nowadays, it's what a fullback is.
See, because I was so young at the time, I get him and Stuart McKimmie mixed up all the time. See, because one was a right back for Aberdeen, one was a left back, and the Aberdeen team that was pushing Rangers all the way every year.
Aye.
And then they've went, let's just take their players from them with Bayern Munich. Thankful he's never got Ian Jess, man.
DC says not my club's player, but Mark.
Back again.
Chapman legend, played alongside Vieira, Totti, and Dyer at Rangers and a Diamond, and Chap manager 0102. He later got a dog called Alex Totten, and he went on to bigger and better things.
I love this guy.
This guy's made a character for himself.
Oh, and that was this week's big question.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Find them on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at G4 Claims Limited.
Right, folks, you know what the Christmas period's like. Folk come round and visit you, and you like to offer them a drink. Sometimes you go into the cupboard and you've already tanned all your baby shams.
True, very true.
Do you know what I mean? Well, guess what? Get ready for the Christmas period with a free case of craft beer for Beer 52. Right now, listeners get 2 extra free beers as well, so that's 10 free beers. Go to www.beer52.com/daft and cover just the postage cost of $5.95, and Beer 52 will send you 10 lovely frosty brews. Right. Beer 52 is the world's largest beer club, and each month members are sent a case with a different theme. Usually it's a different part of the world. It comes with a magazine, it comes with snacks, and if you don't like dark beer, you get to choose the light option as well. And you can pause or cancel at any time. So go to www.beer52.com/daft and pay $5.95 postage to get all this now. And remember, this month you get 2 extra free beers.
And the beers are good. The beers are good. I love my beer.
I was really looking forward to the last ones.
And then your neighbour
drank them, but he did say they were good.
As you know, I'm not a great man for the tipples at the moment. However, I had a friend round, like I was saying, obviously, whatever's happened recently, and a few folk have come round to see me, and I was able to offer them a beer. Would you like a warm beer? Because I had forgot to put them in the fridge. Right. But, you know, half of them have got teeth like a row of condemned tenements anyway, and they drink anything, so I was able to give them a beer. And my beers, I believe, were from Cheshire.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Cheshire.
Interesting.
Nice. So get involved, beer52.com/daft right now.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Get them now at notitfaultclaims.com.
It is a player profile playoff with piesports.com. They bring you the taste of Scottish football to your doorstep with lots of pies in their range. They've got different formations up there on their website. You can get Scotch pies, chilli pies, cheesy bean pies, chicken and chorizo curry pies. They've got the full shebang up there right now. So check them out at piesports.com or give them a call. Why not do that? 0141 739 9999, 0141 739 9999. They'll deliver free of charge to a lot of postcodes across Scotland. They'll get you the pies ahead of the weekend games, and obviously Scotland, big games this weekend. We've got the Friday night game against Moldova, Monday night against Denmark, so get the pies in for that. But we like to give them away on Football Daft, and this week is no exception as we welcome to Football Daft Mark Duff. How you doing, Mark?
I'm fine, thanks very much, guys.
Mark, you've been on before, haven't you?
I have indeed, mate.
Yes, I remember talking to you the last time, yes.
Rangers supporter Mark, how are you feeling today on the 11th of November?
It's been surreal. It's been hard gone.
It's mad, isn't it, how personal everybody takes it? See, when you think about the grand scheme of things, it's mad how fucking worked up we get about shit like this, man.
Aye, and it means nothing, but in football terms, it means everything. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It's bizarre, but...
no, it's like, imagine like your PE teacher left when you were at high school halfway through the year, you're like, oh man, I can't believe this. Fucking Mr. Gilmore's away.
Who do you want? And Mark, Stephen's wanting Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. Who do you want?
I quite fancy Gio. I wouldn't mind Kevin Thompson. I think it's a huge risk no matter who we take.
Well, is it a bigger risk than appointing Gerrard was?
No.
This is what I say to my mates as well.
Do you know what? That's a very valid point.
It is, because Gerrard had no managerial experience at that level, apart from obviously the youngsters.
But the people in beside him that...
Michael Beale was a masterstroke. Gerrard he was the kind of ace.
I'd never heard of the guy before, but quite a lot of the reports I get, he's
very, very highly thought of. Very.
Yeah. So Kevin Thompson, he's announced, I think he was 10-1 when we looked at the odds earlier on.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I think he's presented himself quite well, just like at Celtic Hearts and now. No matter who we take, it's going to be a risk. So to get somebody.
Here's one for you. Would you take the ex-Aston Villa manager?
I probably would.
They had a great job at Villa.
They could probably have done some sort of swap deal.
Has that ever been done before? That's what we were talking about in work yesterday. Has that ever been done before?
A manager swap deal
with managers? I don't think it has, is it?
Well, you could do swap for Ange. You could swap for Ange.
We're keeping him, thanks.
Oh, no.
Load the tone there, John.
Sorry. Right, okay, let's get into the game then.
Flaming I
want to read the description of...
Can't have Vans, he's too busy looking after the neighbourhood, apparently. You see that speech?
No, I've not seen that, no.
You're like, yeah, we don't want to talk about anybody else, mate. You know, you want to get your house in order, get it nice, get your garden and all that fixed, and then that's when you look over the fence to your neighbours.
Please don't tell me he said neighbours. Did he really? Amazing. Then someone just come on the neighbours. Everybody.
It doesn't matter if we play home or away.
Do you know what I want to see, actually? I want to see a duet between Ange and Tom Rogic singing the Home and Away theme song.
We belong together.
Sorry, we're trying to cheer you boys up.
So much hilarity, man.
I'm walking on.
Wouldn't that be beautiful, Rogic and Ange
Just to
singing
know,
that?
just to know. That Rogic does, just to know. Ange comes round the corner, just to know.
Got to happen.
Sorry about this, Mark.
Sorry, Mark. The game works as follows. I will read out a description of the player. If you know the name of said player, you shout out your buzzer. We'll come to you. If you get the answer wrong, the play continues with the other player, and it is the first to two that wins. Mark, what will your...
Sorry to interrupt, but I never came on for the player profile. I just came on for the open line, so I don't know if there's another guy waiting.
Yes! That's a Patreon paid for us.
You're on for the game now, Mark. You're in the game.
That's right. I'm absolutely minced, so good luck to whoever.
That's don't keep it going, man.
He's on, right? Okay, Mark.
I was going to say you should play John, but John writes the fucking questions.
I know exactly who
John writes
I know who the players are here, but never mind.
That would have been good.
There you go. Brilliant, Mark. Well, you can win one prize. What's your buzzer going to be?
I'll go Gio.
All right, okay.
Presumptuous.
Right. I'll
presumptuous.
flip the coin, see you're playing Stephen or Chris. Heads, it's Chris. Tails, it's Stephen. Heads, it is Chris. Right. What's your buzzer going to be, Chris?
Closer.
Gerrard!
There, you knew that. Knew that was coming. You just knew that. All right then, Mark, here we go.
Wait a minute, John. I never actually come on for the player.
Right. The category this week, you know, we've been going around the world.
Yes,
we've had
I like
players.
it. I like
you like
it.
this? You like this? German players that played in Scotland this week.
Easy.
Mate, you should have seen me last week, man. Was it the week before? It was
the
Argentinians. Everybody was like, Federico Nieto, Caruccia. What he was going to do? He didn't, but
I didn't. Right, okay, here we go.
So
then,
is it
boys.
Germans?
The Germans. Right, you ready?
Right.
This striker scored twice in his debut with Hibs when he joined them from Fulham in 2000. All in all, he made 59 appearances for the Easter Road side while scoring 9 goals in 59 appearances. After a brief spell down south, he returned to Motherwell while the club went into administration. He sounds like he should be a porn star. Oh, come on, Christopher.
Gerrard.
Chris.
Duck. Lemon.
Yeah!
That was a good fucking find there. Mark, no hassle, mate. You didn't sign up for this. Don't worry, mate. It's all right.
Don't worry, you're getting 2 packets of pies for this. Don't worry about
There's no pressure, man. Right, here we go. This next player, this German international fullback, arrived in Scotland from
Gerrard!
Oh.
Andreas Hinkel.
Andreas Hinkel it is. Well done. Clean sweep for Chris this week. 2-0.
So what's your point, Mark?
Oh, it was just to see what you thought about Kevin Thompson. You've answered.
2 birds, 1 stone. There we go.
You can come on every week, bro.
Press the applause.
There we get to. Gets you a pause.
There you go. You get your pies and you've made your point. There we go, Mark. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming on.
Very much appreciated.
And if you want pies, you can play if you want, or come on the open line.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, piesports.com in the meantime.
You can put me anywhere.
That's what my missus says about me.
Cheers, Mark.
It's now time for Grado's 3 riddles on Football Day.
And then Grado usually comes in and goes,
He just goes, welcome to another episode. Riddle number 1.
He needs to work on his showmanship a wee bit, doesn't he?
Wait a minute here, because I've been off.
You have been off. So the
how does the land lie?
The current scores, Christopher, are I am on 17 points, you're on 16 points, Stephen is on 7, Ryan's on 1, Jack's on 1, Ian Miko's on 1, and Ryan Dunbar got last week's riddle that we threw out, and he's been on the open line, and he was the first in with this week's riddle, believe it or not.
What was that again?
The riddle we threw out to the listeners last week was, this American list is getting out of here. Chris, you weren't here. See if you can get it. This American list is getting out of here. Ryan was first in with this answer.
Checklist? No. Getting out of here, exit.
Think American list. You hear it on TV shows. Stephen, do you not get this last week?
I don't think did we get it?
I don't know if you did.
Oh, that's a tough one.
This American list is getting out of here.
American list?
Yeah.
You hear it on TV shows? That's baffled me.
What was that again?
Craig Levine.
Craig's list.
Get it out of here, Craig Levine. There we go.
Our most listened to.
And not, as I said,
episode, is it not?
Check exit.
It was, yeah.
Craig
Levine was our most listened to episode. So there you go, friend of the show, Craig Levine. Right, in Grado's absence, because of baby, I have written 3 riddles for you. So chance for you to get up ahead of me here, Chris.
They're not baby related or anything, are they?
They're not baby related, no. Okay. They're not baby related. Right, okay, he's ready for your first riddle.
Absolutely.
Here we go. This Grand Theft Auto San is no Dick or Harry. This Grand Theft Auto San is no Dick or Harry.
Andreas Tom.
Well done, 1-0, Chris.
I knew it was fucking Andreas. I just got to say Hinkle, but I thought that's not one.
Tom, Dick or Harry.
It's not Tom. It's not Dick or Harry. It's Tom. There you go. Well done, Chris. Point to you.
That's some level, you.
That's my German.
Okay.
My German football knowledge coming back in there.
Yeah.
Lads.
Partridge's assistant has mafia boss's stone walls.
That's too much information.
There's a lot of information there. There's a lot to digest.
Say it again.
Partridge's assistant.
I can't remember her name.
Has mafia boss stone walls.
Right, I know who Partridge's assistant is.
I can't remember.
I know that, but I just like, what's the rest of it?
So if you've got a Partridge's assistant, has mafia boss stone walls.
Mafia boss is Don.
Lyndon Dykes.
Well done, Stephen. Pardon. Well done. We're flying.
Lynn, don't go in that drawer, Lynn. Lynn. I'm not driving them in the metro, Lynn.
Flying through them, the
I'll just keep saying it. I'm not driving them in the metro.
Okay.
I'm not driving them in the metro.
Final clue, final riddle. Here we go. Argonaut's boss is climaxing. Argonaut's boss.
Cummings.
Well done, Crystal.
I was like, there, Jason. No, Medusa spunking.
Medusa spunking. Well done, Chris. We're back in the game, right in front of me now.
I'm just happy to get one in the country.
I've never
spunking.
Medusa spunking.
Medusa spunking.
So, we'll throw out one for the listeners this week. See who can get in first on the Twitter or Facebook for this one. This revolutionary knows his apples. This revolutionary... No, I feel like it's the, you know that bit we've been countdown before they go into the ad break and they give it. Anyway, I feel like that. This revolutionary knows his apples. That's one for the listeners. Until next time on Grado's Three Riddles.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Call them now on 01698 767 172.
It is time for the Eldorado Swanky Moment of the Week. Remember, ask for LD at any swanky bar because you're going to find it there. Easy to drink, short, fruity, and finish with a little trace of caffeine, which is just beautiful. It's available at your local convenience store, and you can follow them now on Facebook or Instagram, Eldorado Tonic Wine, or check them out, eldoradotonicwine.com. We love Eldorado Tonic Wine on this show, and to celebrate the swanky taste of it, we are picking out the swanky moment.
We're going to celebrate the swanky taste of Eldorado.
Scream if you want to go faster.
I went full commercial radio DJ there, haven't I?
This is George Michael Faith.
To celebrate the swanky taste of El Dorado, we are picking out a swanky moment from Scottish football and leaving you to vote on it on our Twitter at FootballDaftPod. The results from last weekend are as follows, gentlemen.
It's a landslide.
In joint last place with 9%. It was my choice of Biden as a buzzy after Joe Biden turned up in Paisley on the social St Mirren Twitter, which I thought was brilliant. He wasn't there in the end. Listener Grant's choice of Paul Scholes' Halloween costume.
That was funny,
complete
man.
with the little plastic.
Joint last?
Joint last with me.
I'm surprised at that.
I know. Grado was in second with his choice of Ramsdale's wonder save for Arsenal. But obviously, he's played to the fucking crowd.
The Football Daft listeners are dedicated followers of fashion.
71% of the vote went to Fashion Sakala's hat trick. So well
fashion
done,
orders a
Stephen.
treble, man.
Stephen, you won this week. What are you choosing for your swanky
I'm
moment
going a
this
bit
week?
different this week, John.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, Christopher, I'm going a bit different, right?
Okay.
This week, I am going for the return of Dexter Morgan.
Hold on, you're coming out of Scottish football and you're going for the return of Dexter. This is a Grado choice.
I know.
This is a Grado choice.
Tell you this now. End of voting there. Because I'm with him on this one.
Was it good?
It was fucking excellent.
The only thing that has to be excellent in Dexter is the final series before this, right? That was pish, right? They changed the writers, not
my wife didn't
see
enjoy
this,
it.
see this.
No, there was a writer's strike.
I know, and the fucking one of the main writers didn't come back after it.
Right.
But see this. This was back to full on fucking Dexter.
So he's moved away, isn't he? He's moving
He's a fucking lumberjack, man.
He lives in basically Minnesota or somewhere.
He's killing trees now.
He works in a wee shop.
He works in a wee weapon, maybe kind of sells guns and all that. But the start of it looked like a fucking scene for Fargo, didn't it? When he's in there, it was so good, man. But this, I know, I'm taking a wee. Can you blame me for not getting involved in Scottish football this week, right? There's a lot going on in Scottish football that I'm not happy about.
Yep.
So I want to pass this week since I won last week, right?
Right.
And I can't even Ken Neil suit of Rangers. And I need to stop saying the Rangers thing. So my El Dorado swanky moment of the week is the return of Dexter Morgan.
Right. Chris, what's yours?
Right.
So much to choose. So much to choose.
It's like when Chandler's not allowed to tell jokes.
There is. I'm assuming
come on.
It is going to be something to do with something Steven Gerrard meme based.
No.
No.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands across the divide here. I realise that the Rangers listeners and my good friend Stephen here and Grado as well have had a hard time yet. So I'm going to go with the Rangers social media team for wishing Ryan Kent a happy birthday a couple of hours after they've just lost one of the biggest managers in the club's history.
And don't go full Celtic 2021.
And the guy that said they've gone full Celtic 2021, never go full Celtic 2021. So I've got to hold my hands up and say, normally I wouldn't go for a Glasgow Celtic Rangers Old Firm thing for my swanky moment of the week, but I just feel that it's good to see folk try to get back to normality.
Now, I am going to go this week for the Stirling Albion young team. Now, the Stirling Albion...
Sounds like a gang.
I know. Well, this is it. They did my fucking coupon at the weekend, Stirling Albion. But I was against my home side of Stennismuir. This is what happened in the 6 minutes. Stenny tweeted this. Apologies for the lack of updates on our Twitter man has just had a pie chucked to him by the Stirling Albion young team. So... there was no updates on the Stenny Twitter for the first hour because someone chucked a pie.
Flung that pie.
Wait a minute, it took a half an hour for the cunt to wipe a pie off his jacket.
It might have been a burning hot pie.
Maybe it was a frozen pie and it knocked him out. When they get that way, Pie Sports, John, I'll tell you that.
You know something, right? I should have known this was going to be a bad week. Talking about pies, right? I like my pies. Right? I like my pies.
Yeah.
So me and the wee man, me and my son, we went to the game at the weekend, right? I'm not happy.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right, we gets there, right? Goes up to the kiosk.
Is this before?
This is before the Ross County game, right? This is before Gerrard's left, right? This was Gerrard's last game, before kick-off.
Did you ask for a Gerrard pie?
No, we don't do that
anymore. Do you not do that anymore? Do you know what?
We don't do like fucking Loudrup luxury hot dogs.
Remember that joke? A bowlie soup? You can have a Haley pizza. A Loudrop burger. What did you end up going for? The bully soup.
That's fucking brilliant.
Right, sorry.
Anyway, I guess to the fit, right? My boy loves a hot dog and a bar of chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we get there.
That's not exclusive to him, by the way.
I know. But he goes up and I goes, all right, mate. This very young guy who's just trying to make a couple of quid, right? He thinks he's a fucking jack lad, right? So it's on there. So, all right, mate, put my order in. Can I have a hot dog free, man, a pie and all that? It's like, some chocolate. The chocolate's melted. I was like, what? He's like, the chocolate's melted. I was like, right, all right, skis a packet of crisps. And he's like, the crisps haven't melted. I was like, no, I know the crisps when they melted, right? Aye, and I'm like, right, mate. And I'm still in my 6-year-old boy, right? I'm like, right, I was like, man, the chocolate's melted, right? So I goes, like, he's a Coke, and he's like, the Coke's off. I went, what are you talking about? The Coke's off? So he shows me. Presses, I think it's just water pissing at it. And I'm like,
times are tough at Ibrox.
Are you kidding me on? I'm like, you kidding me on? He's like, no. I was like, right, just
see if you go into the toilet, I'll give you a cup, you can fill it up with water for the sink.
I was like, just gives water, right? He's like, so he gives his water, brings it here, gives him a crisp, steak pie, hot dog. I'm fucking raging at this point, going, there's no chocolate.
Is there only one kiosk in your
No,
stand?
there's hundreds, but I could pass another one. He gave me a mince pie. See that steak pie? No, I honestly see if I was in a big queue, I'd have been back and fucking hot him. And I still known, then Gerrard leaves. You know what I mean? It's not a good
I heard that it's directly related to the incident.
It is, man. And I'm raging with my fucking swanky moment. No, I wanted to say something else and I forgot about it for a swanky moment now.
Oh, do you want? You can return to it. Do you want? Right, we'll tell we're taking Dexter off the table now.
Go back to football, right? Go back to football.
Oh, here we go. He's going to win now with this one.
Oh, here he goes.
I want my fucking swanky moment of the week to be Falkirk FC try to defend for a minute.
Fuck off.
The state of that goal. Allo's equaliser.
Fuck off.
Falkirk scored in like the 88th minute, 89th minute. Right, I will show you, right. They scored in like the 88th or 89th minute, right. All that today is hold on for a minute plus injury time. Alloa from the kickoff launched the ball down the pitch and Alloa scored. It was comical. It was comical. So my swanky moment of the week is the Falkirk defence have a brain fart.
Right, okay. Oh, jeez, don't want to relive that. It's like Nam. Right, so this week, a listener nomination comes from Dylan, who nominates, I don't know if you saw this one, boys, the brawl that erupted in Brazil. The international players basically took onto the pitch fake coffins after beating rivals Grimoia in the derby. That is a tasty derby as well, international Grimoia. And basically, they were mocking their imminent relegation. Fucking proper shit house. But the fucking
walked on with coffins.
Like cardboard coffins holding it up to the fucking other supporters.
What's the name of these clubs? Independiente?
It's Internazionale and Grimoia.
Oh, Grimoia.
I've never even heard of
Brazilian.
Heard the internet. Grêmio.
Grêmio.
Sounds like a fucking breakfast cereal.
Sounds like it should be fucking sponsored by Alpen.
But the fucking brawl that kicked off. I've got it here. I'll show you. But I'll show you that in a minute. And you can see that. But that comes from Dylan. That is
that's a good one. That's a good one
for our swanky moment. So, what are the swanky moments of the week, Stephen Purden?
Falkirk defence have a brain fart.
Crystal.
Rangers social media wishing Ryan Kent happy birthday 15 minutes after Gerrard left.
Stirling Albion young team comes from me, and Brazil bro comes from Dylan.
Can I change? Right, well, I'm going to make my swanky moment the arrival of Perry Maureen Steve.
Oh, you're not
allowed. You're not allowed.
Oh, wait a minute, I know.
Baby Grado.
See if that
you were allowed Dexter.
See if that doesn't win.
Grado will never do the show.
Yeah, we are, right, okay. For fuck's sake, point to the crowd.
I'm expecting 100%.
Aye. So there we go. That is your nomination for this week. Get voting on our Twitter at Football Daft Pod. And remember, Eldorado Tonic Wine, Scotland's own, is now Football Daft.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Find them on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at G4 Claims Limited.
Remember, you can get now more content from Football Daft on our Patreon service. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a subscription service. We're going to give you more stuff. You're going to get the video version of this show. You're going to get the video version of Rangers and Celtic Daft. You're going to get teammates when we have our guests back on eventually. You're going to get free t-shirts, chance to be a pundit on Rangers and Celtic Daft. All sorts of things up there. So get involved. Throw a bit of cash our way. That would be brilliant. Patreon.com/football daft. You can get involved. Love to welcome you to the squad. And as I say, we have all our teammates from all our previous guests up there where we ask stupid questions such as, Chris,
who's the top shagger?
Exactly. Top shagger.
You can find out who the top shagger is. And this week, it's Big DJ Derek Johnstone.
Worst dressed?
Bobby Russell.
Yeah, we go.
He was like a paraffin lamp when he came in for training.
That's like Toll when he comes on the podcast, man, when he starts.
Leave me alone.
Moaniest?
Cooper. Davy Cooper.
Davy Cooper. Aye,
absolutely. Oh, moaned at absolutely everything. If his tea was cold, he never had sugar for his tea. There wasn't any milk in it. Oh, everything was a problem with Davy. But what
apart from playing football.
Who do you want to back you up in a fight?
Tom Forsyth. The late great Tom. Absolutely wonderful man. Hard as nails on the park, but off it an absolute gentleman.
Best looking?
Oh, Christ. Well, it's a toss-up between Pretty Boy Smith, Gordon Smith or Derek Parley.
What?
I'll give it the big Parley.
Gordon, innit? Big Parley?
No, Parley was my big pal. No, so I go for Big Derek, yes.
Yeah, so obviously, because Gordon Smith, he's for Stevenson, that's where I stay. I've never looked at him as a kind of handsome guy, but I'm taking it back in the day, he was a mega looker then, is that right?
I'm talking when he was maybe 5 or 6. Gordon was the only player when it was peeing or rain and it was muddy, he would come off the park with not a bit of dirt on him. Nothing.
And they folk.
Teacher's pet?
Robert Pritz. Remember Robert Pritz?
Really, Pritz?
Wee Pritzy. He's one of these voices. But Gaffer, can I do this, Gaffer? You know, with the voice all high and everything. Little rat bag that he was. Aye. Wee Pritzy, yes, I would say with him. Aye.
Most skillful?
Oh, I've already mentioned him. I think with some great players, I like Wee Willie Johnson and Willie Henderson, people like that. Tommy McLean were exceptional. But Coop just did absolutely everything. I mean, he wasn't the biggest player in the world. He didn't have a right foot, couldn't tackle, wasn't quick. But what a left foot he had. No. Absolutely magnificent.
Aye, outstanding.
That's a belter there, Derek. David Cooper had everything. He didn't have a right foot. He couldn't header. He couldn't tackle. But he had everything.
but listen, he had everything in his left foot. That's what matters.
Aye, what a footballer.
Worst trainer?
Probably me. Absolutely hated it. We used to on a Tuesday morning, we used to do a 40-minute run. We never walked. We just ran for 40 minutes round the track and up and down the old terracins at Ibrox. We never walked at all for 40 minutes. And honestly, going round the track, I must have got lapped about 4 times. It was unbelievable. It was so hard.
I feel your pain, man.
But I hated it. But at the end of the day, you needed to do that to play on the Saturday, so it had to be done. And I got there eventually.
Who never gets the rounding?
What you mean? Who's the most miserable bee? Aye.
Yeah.
Davy Smith. Typical Aberdonian.
Aye.
Honestly, you'd be there for about 4 hours, maybe half a dozen of us all getting around. And he would wait to the very end until, in these days, 10 o'clock the pub's shut. At 5 to 10 he would say, anybody want a quickie? No, all right. You know, so
Biggest bam up merchant?
Well, there was 2. The 2 big, well, we're including McCoist. McCoist was probably one of the best. But wee Willie Henderson and Colin Steen were brilliant at that winding you up. But they wound each other up once, which was fantastic. We're in the bag, big huge bath we had at Rangers at that time. Everybody shared it. Imagine doing that now.
I know.
16, 17 players in the one big bath. Oh dear. But we're in there. We're in there after training, and we used to have a big bottle of juice just outside the bath on the sink. So players used to come in after they get changed and get a wee drink of juice before they went home to get the bus or the train or drive home. And Steenie would be in the bath on his own. Whoever came in, he would absolutely soak him with the water. So they're going home with their suit all absolutely soaking.
Aye.
Wee Wally Henderson came in this time. And he went over to get a drink, and Steenie absolutely so. Wee Wally just stood there and looked at him, and he was getting wetter and wetter and wetter. And Steenie says, "You're going to have to put a tracksuit on now to get yourself home in the bus." He says, "Well, no, really, Steenie, you've got all your gear on." So the two of them were great. The two of them were really funny.
Top shagger.
God. I mean, the sad thing is there's a choice at 18. Listen, you could put all their names in a hat and draw one out and that would be the winner. That's as good as you're going to get.
Best you've played with?
It'd probably have to be Coop again. Willie Johnstone was absolutely sensational. The pace that he had was phenomenal. And me being a striker at that time, he would find me 9 times out of 10 with the ball. Aye. Tommy McLean was fantastic as well. Any wide men I loved because they were supplying the balls in the box. Get down to the nitty-gritty. The one that I loved playing with was Coop. Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Brilliant.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Get them now at notitfaultclaims.com.
So, thank you very much for listening to Football Daft. Remember, you can go into the archive, you get all the interviews and all the previous episodes on Spotify, Apple, Deezer, wherever you get your podcasts, really.
Deezer?
Does anybody use Deezer? People still use Deezer, don't they?
I hear the odd person talk about it. Not much, though, but it's still out there.
It's still there. You'll get us everywhere. You can get us on YouTube as well.
Is Bebo not making a comeback?
Look out for MySpace.
What's your top 5? You can get on Patreon as well. Like I say, you'll be able to see the video version this week. We've got a fantastic Falkirk top-up this week.
It was donated to us from Claude Makalele.
Scott MacKenzie there.
Chris Waddle.
But you can get the video version if you fancy. And remember, you can become a pundit on Rangers Celtic Daft as well. Though we're taking a week off next week because it's international break. There's could be quite a lot to speak to about Rangers.
I don't know if I will do Rangers Daft for a while.
Right, for next week. Right, okay. We've been recording for 2 hours. How are you feeling, Stephen?
Do you know what?
I'm worried. Let's go back to the stages of grief.
Yes, right. So this morning I sat down. I dropped my son off at school because my daughter wasn't feeling well, so she didn't go. Anyway, that's a.
How does she normally drive him?
So, right. So we've had denial. I think we had because on Rangers Daft on Monday.
Stoll's about to fucking implode.
Rangers Daft on Monday. We had denial of Stephen. If you go back and listen to it, in fact, I think Chris Toll might have the actual footage from Rangers Daft. So the 5 stages of grief. The 5 stages of grief. First of all, we had denial.
I don't see him going anywhere now. He's not going to go anywhere halfway through this season.
8th of November, he's definitely not taking the Villa job, says Stephen Byrne. I don't think
you're choking for this edit man to go. He's not taking the Villa job, and then Sky Sports News he's taking the Villa job. It's not happening, John.
Oh, right, aye. And after that, Rangers Daft, I went up the stair. A lot of Rangers fans in a group chat, and I was like, he's no fucking going to Villa. Right. I wake up the next morning and I go, wait a minute. This is gathering a bit of momentum and a bit of pace. I'm feeling at the moment
anger. You were very angry on the group chat last night.
I was angry when I woke up this morning as well. But do you know what?
We're at bargaining.
Aye.
We're at bargaining, aren't we? We're at bargaining.
I'll
take him. I'll take money. I'll take money right now. There's the goal. Bring him in. Come on.
There's a fucking Grim Reaper coming round the corner.
See if we get to the stage where I say the words, I'll take money. we're in trouble, right? No, but it's good to get out the house. I'm not walking about repeating myself to my missus who's in the office trying to work, going, I'm fucking raging. I can't believe he's done it. It's good that Chris Toll's back after a real tragedy in his life. I'm making out this is a disaster. He's been through a lot.
Mate, I've been there, yeah, man.
It's good to have him back, but it's good to have you back. You've took my mind off it a wee bit. And you've made me think about it a lot.
I've got 2 words for you to think about on the drive up the road.
Brendan Rodgers.
John Kennedy.
Remember him, man? Wait, I just want a bag of cans and go back to lockdown, man, when John Kennedy was in charge of Celtic, man. Oh, it's a simpler time.
We'll see where we're at next week on the podcast. Scotland playing in the weekend, boys. Moldova Friday, Denmark
2-0.
Monday.
2-0 against Moldova.
2-0 against Moldova, and then just.
I think Moldova will score twice.
Imagine, what we're saying earlier, man. 2-0 to Moldova and we'll beat Denmark 4-0.
That's it.
That's so Scotland.
Denmark, by the way, Denmark amazingly haven't conceded a goal in this group.
There's some names.
Do you know what?
That is the most Scotland thing ever, but get beat off Moldova, nothing each against Denmark, 89th minute. OG for Scotland, 1-0.
Aye.
Bring on Qatar, or even just the playoffs. But
Playoffs first.
I've got a feeling this Scotland team's built for kick.
I think we're going to scud Denmark. There we go. I'm putting it there.
I think this Scotland team is built for knockout football.
Really?
Yes.
Right, okay, well, fingers crossed. Come on, Scotland, the weekend. Couple of games going on, Championship, League 1, League 2.
Who's Falkirk playing?
We have got away to Dumbarton.
Inverurie locals.
We're away to Dumbarton.
Won't be long, you're playing them, man. You're fucking...
Away to Dumbarton. Maybe Cal Morrison's back, so we turn in form, hopefully. Hamilton versus Wraith Rovers in the Championship should be pretty tasty. League 1, it's top 5. You never get this. It's the actual top 5 against the bottom 5 in League 1. Yeah. Very rarely that happens.
That's fuck. There's got to be a few cutting busters there.
There'll be. I wouldn't touch League 1 this week.
Who's Kelty Hearts playing in League 2?
It's
Who are they playing?
Big game in League 2.
You're keeping an eye on the manager, aye?
Kevin Thompson at home to Forfar, which is the top of the table clash. So
I think his record, I just think it's a bit too early for him, but I like to keep track of how Tom was getting on because I've got a lot of time for him. I think he's a really nice guy.
When we had him on the show, he was loving the old Celtic, remember?
No, he wasn't.
I was nearly saying for
come on, I'm feeling bad enough for days as I just gave you a compliment and said.
Then at the start of this season he was like, I really thought I was getting that job, and then Ange came in. I ended up at Kelty Hearts.
Is that us done, guys?
That's us done.
Thanks, Davey.
Where's your manager?
Where's your manager, Steve? Congratulations to Grado. Hopefully he's back.
And Stephanie.
I'm saying exactly. Congratulations to Grado. He did fuck all apart from sitting.
As we speak, Grado's trying to change Perry's first nappy, and he's got fucking shite all over him. And he's fucking the first nappy. He's having a nightmare, don't you? I bet you.
Oh man, imagine man. That's what Stephanie's like when she's trying to change his.
And with that thought, we'll leave you for football daft this week.